What's up, Steelers Nation? The first round of the 2025 NFL Draft is in the books, and Pittsburgh just made a statement. With the 21st overall pick, the black and gold went all in on defense, snagging Dak Prescott, the disruptive force out of Oregon. And let me tell you, this pick has the potential to be an absolute game-changer for a team looking to solidify its trenches. Now, I know some fans were hoping for a flashy quarterback or maybe even a trade-up scenario, but the front office stayed patient, trusted their board, and landed a guy who fits the Steelers' DNA: tough, relentless, and built to dominate in the trenches. Harmon isn't just another defensive tackle. He's a certified play wrecker. His tape shows a rare blend of power and agility, allowing him to collapse pockets against the pass and stonewall running backs at the line of scrimmage. And here's the kicker. His production last season was even better than Mason Graham, the DT who went 5th overall to Cleveland after that big trade-up. Yeah, you heard that right. More sacks, more tackles for loss, more quarterback pressures. Harmon was a one-man wrecking crew in college. But let's talk fit. The Steelers' defensive line needed fresh legs, especially with Cam Hayward entering the twilight of his legendary career. Harmon steps into a rotation that already features Keanu Benton and, of course, Hayward himself. Imagine this. In 5-man fronts, Harmon can line up as a 5 technique, using his explosiveness to bully tackles. While in their base 4-man looks, he'll be a rotational force, keeping guys fresh for the 4th quarter. And long-term, he's the heir apparent to Hayward's throne as the anchor of this defense. Now, no pick is perfect, and Harmon does come with a couple of question marks. The biggest? Durability. A lingering shoulder concern caused him to slide down some teams' boards, which is why Pittsburgh was able to snag him at 21. There's also the occasional missed tackle on tape, something he'll need to clean up at the next level. But when you watch his highlights, the upside is undeniable. This dude has all-pro potential if he stays healthy. And let's give credit where it's due. The Steelers scouting department clearly had their eyes locked on Harmon. They didn't even bother bringing in other top DT prospects for visits or private workouts. This was their guy all along. No last-minute surprises, no panic. Just a calculated move to land a difference maker. So what's the grade? I'm leaning toward an A-. The only thing holding it back from a straight A is that injury history. If Harmon stays on the field, he's a steal. If not, well, we've seen how nagging injuries can derail even the most promising careers. But for now, Steelers fans should be thrilled. This defense just got scarier. Now let's shift gears to day 2. Pittsburgh still has glaring needs at cornerback, offensive line, and maybe even wide receiver if a certain veteran gets moved. You know who I'm talking about. Who's still on the board that could make sense in the 2nd or 3rd round. Keep an eye on those mid-round quarterbacks. This team might not be done adding competition under center. And don't sleep on a potential trade. The Steelers love making noise on draft weekend, and with extra capital, they could maneuver to grab another impact player. But for now, let's celebrate the arrival of Dak Prescott. The Steelers' defense just added a new weapon, and if everything clicks, this pick could be remembered as the start of something special. What do you think? Hit the comments with your grade: A, B, C, or fire everyone. The debate is just getting started. The excitement from round 1 is still buzzing through Steelers Nation. But let's be real, the work's far from over. As we gear up for rounds 2 and 3 tonight, Pittsburgh finds itself in an intriguing position with multiple needs still to address and some serious talent still on the board. The selection of Dak Prescott addressed a crucial defensive need, but now the chess match really begins for Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin. What's fascinating about this year's draft is how the board has fallen. There are still starting caliber players available at positions of need for Pittsburgh, and how they navigate tonight could shape the franchise for years to come. Let's talk offensive line first, because if there's one area that could make or break this team in 2025, it's protecting whoever's under center. The tackle class still has some intriguing options, and don't be surprised if Pittsburgh looks hard at someone like Jordan Morgan from Arizona, a technician with the athleticism to develop into a long-term solution at right tackle. The interior line could use depth too, especially with the uncertainty surrounding some of the current starters. A player like Cooper Beebe from Kansas State would bring that nasty, physical mentality that the Steelers covet in their linemen. What's interesting is how the team values versatility. They love guys who can play multiple positions, so keep an eye on those Swiss Army knife types as we get into the second day. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, quarterback. The fact that Pittsburgh passed on the position in round 1 tells us a few things. Either they're comfortable rolling with their current situation, which seems unlikely given the rumors swirling around, or they're confident they can get their guy later. There are still some intriguing developmental options available. Michael Pratt from Tulane has that steady, pro-ready game that could thrive under Mike Tomlin's guidance. Then there's the wild card. Could Spencer Rattler's arm talent be too tempting if he falls to the 3rd round? The Steelers have shown they're not afraid to take swings on high-ceiling players, and Rattler certainly fits that mold. What's clear is that the quarterback room isn't settled, and tonight's moves, or lack thereof, will speak volumes about the team's plans. Wide receiver is another position to watch closely, even if they don't make a splash trade. And let's be honest, we're all waiting to see what happens with that situation. Adding another weapon should be a priority. The depth in this year's class means there could be steals available in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. A guy like Roman Wilson from Michigan would bring speed and route running polish that could contribute immediately. Or maybe they look for a bigger target like Devontae Walker from North Carolina to add a different dimension to the passing game. The Steelers have a history of finding receiver gems on day 2. Think Antonio Brown in the 6th round or Juju Smith-Schuster in the 2nd, and this year's class offers similar potential. Defensively, while the line got a boost with Harmon, there are still holes to fill. Cornerback remains a major question mark, and the good news is there are several intriguing options still available. Kamari Lassiter from Georgia plays with the physicality and intelligence that Pittsburgh covets in their defensive backs. Or perhaps they look for more of a ball hawk like Max Melton from Rutgers to add. What's fascinating about Pittsburgh's approach is how they balance immediate needs with long-term planning. They're not just drafting for 2025, they're building a roster that can contend for years to come. That's why we might see them take some calculated risks on high-upside players, especially in the 3rd round. The Steelers have always valued traits and coachability, and there are still plenty of raw but talented prospects available who could blossom under their development system. Special teams shouldn't be overlooked either. The 3rd round might be a bit early for a specialist, but remember how much value Pittsburgh places on winning the field position battle. A dynamic returner or a linebacker/safety hybrid who can contribute immediately on coverage units could be in play as we get deeper into the draft. The other factor to consider is how the Steelers might maneuver within the draft itself. They've shown a willingness to trade up for their guys. Remember the move to get Bush a few years back? But they're just as likely to trade back and accumulate more picks if the board falls a certain way. That flexibility is what makes Omar Khan one of the more intriguing GMs to watch during draft weekend. Every move seems calculated, every pick intentional. As we look ahead to tonight's selections, keep in mind the Steelers' core philosophies: toughness, intelligence, and football character. They don't just draft athletes, they draft football players. That's why certain prospects will be higher on their board than others, regardless of what the consensus might say. It's also why we shouldn't be surprised if they take someone off the board, a player they've identified as fitting their system perfectly, even if the draft analysts don't see it coming. The beauty of day 2 is that these are the picks that often define drafts. First-rounders get the headlines, but it's the 2nd and 3rd rounders who frequently become the backbone of championship teams. Think about some of Pittsburgh's best teams. They were built on finding contributors throughout the draft, not just at the top. That's the challenge tonight, finding those players who can grow into key roles while also providing immediate depth. One underrated aspect to watch is how the selections might hint at schematic changes. The offensive system under the new coordinator could influence what type of receivers or linemen they target. Defensively, are they looking for more hybrid players to add flexibility to their packages? These picks could give us clues about how the team plans to evolve in the coming seasons. The other fascinating storyline is how the board interacts with their division rivals. What Baltimore and Cincinnati do could directly impact who's available when Pittsburgh picks, adding another layer of strategy to the night. The AFC North is always a dogfight, and every draft pick is another weapon in that divisional arms race. As we count down to tonight's action, remember that the Steelers' approach is always measured and deliberate. They won't panic if a run on a position happens before their pick, and they won't reach just to fill a need. Their board is their Bible, and they'll stick to it. That discipline has served them well over the years, even if it frustrates fans in the moment. What makes this particular draft so intriguing for Pittsburgh is that they're at something of a crossroads. The roster has talent, but needs an infusion of youth at key positions. The division is tough but winnable. The coaching staff has continuity but needs to show progress. How they navigate these next few picks could set the trajectory for the next era of Steelers football. So buckle up, Steelers Nation. Tonight promises to be another fascinating chapter in the team's draft history. Will they find the next great Steelers defender? Unearth an offensive gem? Make a surprise move that has us all talking? One thing's for sure. In Pittsburgh, they don't just draft players, they draft Steelers. And that distinction matters more than any draft grade or immediate analysis. The real judgment on these picks won't come tonight. It'll come on the fields of the AFC North for years to come. But the foundation for those future battles is being laid right now, one pick at a time. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Dak Prescott's move to the Pittsburgh Steelers has been confirmed, sending shockwaves through the NFL community. Known for his precision passing, leadership qualities, and resilient spirit, Prescott arrives in Pittsburgh with high expectations and the promise of reinvigorating a franchise hungry for a return to glory. The announcement comes after weeks of speculation and intense negotiations. Prescott, who spent the bulk of his career as the cornerstone of the Dallas Cowboys offense, decided to embrace a new challenge following his release earlier this offseason. Steelers general manager Omar Khan wasted no time in expressing his enthusiasm. Dak is a proven leader on and off the field. His experience, work ethic, and winning mentality align perfectly with our culture here in Pittsburgh. Coaches and teammates have echoed that sentiment, celebrating Prescott's arrival as a testament to the team's commitment to contending for Super Bowl titles. For Prescott, the transition represents both an opportunity and a test. Pittsburgh boasts a proud football tradition, with 6 Super Bowl championships and a legion of passionate fans renowned for their unwavering support. Yet the franchise has struggled in recent seasons, missing the playoffs and enduring quarterback instability. Prescott's arrival signals a decisive effort to bring stability under center. His rapport with offensive coordinator Matt Canada will be crucial in developing a dynamic playbook that leverages his pocket mastery and mobility. Observers anticipate a mix of quick, high-percentage throws with occasional deep shots to speedsters like Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, forming a balanced attack designed to challenge opposing defenses. Off the field, Prescott's leadership is expected to influence the locker room culture. Known for mentoring younger players and engaging deeply with community initiatives, he immediately resonated with Steelers fans in his introductory press conference. "I'm here to win," Prescott stated, his trademark calm determination evident. "Pittsburgh is a football town. I appreciate the history and the passion, and I'm committed to adding to that legacy." Despite the optimism, challenges lie ahead. The offensive line must gel quickly to protect Prescott, and the defense will need to maintain its reputation for physicality under coordinator Terrell Austin. Questions remain about the running game's effectiveness and special teams consistency. Nonetheless, the energy surrounding Heinz Field has never been higher for an off-season edition. Season ticket holders have eagerly renewed, and local businesses are already gearing up for Dak season celebrations. As training camp approaches, all eyes will be on Pittsburgh's South Side. Can Prescott lead the Steelers back to the postseason and lift Lombardi aspirations once more? If his past performance is any indication, the city's hopes are in capable hands, and the dawn of a new era in Steelers history is underway. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, Make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.